Good morning, third grade, and welcome to week 9, day 2. Today is Wednesday, May 27, and you guys are going to be working on page 10 of your district packet. Today is the last day of distance learning, and I have to say that I miss you so much. I wish we had we were able I wish we were able to be together today at the school and have a little party and socialize. But unfortunately, due to the circumstances, that is not possible. Please know I am just one phone call away. I'm just one text message away, one email away. And if there's anything that you need from me, I will be here for you. I love you. And I cannot wait until 12 o'clock today to have our Zoom meeting because I want to say hi to you guys and to let you know that I'm here. If you want to make a Zoom every now and then, I'm more than open to that. I would love to do that and be in touch with you guys throughout the summer. I love you guys. Please know that I do, and I enjoyed every single second I spent in Miss Soto's class this year. It was a blessing for me to be there with you guys. You guys taught me many things and are great. You guys are an amazing group of students. I love you all. And thank you for making each of my days as a teacher the best days of my life because whenever I went to school, getting into that classroom and seeing you guys made me happier than I was. Um, Being able to see you guys through your Zoom meetings, texting with your parents, knowing how you are, all of that made me feel really special. And it made me realize that I'm in the right position, that I am doing what I love, which is teach, and that I love you, all of you. I love all of you, and that's it. That's all I have to say for now. And now we're going to go over the page 10 exercises. This is page 10. Again, the packet for some reason says pages 11 and 12, but the packet does not have pages 11 and 12. So we're going to be working on page 10. In order for us to do this, I want to make sure that I'm going to explain the problems to you. I am going to be asking some guiding questions that I want you to reflect on them, but I want you guys to work on the problems on your own, okay? The only problem I'm going to do together with you is the first problem, and the other ones I want you guys to do it on your own. And just reach out if you need if you have any questions. Just remember we're going to meet today through Zoom, and if you have any questions, I can definitely clarify those through there, okay? So this is the first problem on page 10, and the problem says, a bride invites 268 people to her wedding. Before the wedding, 182 reply that they will be able to make it. Is it reasonable to say, or does it make sense to say, that about 200 people did not reply? Why or why not? This problem right here, if you read it carefully, you will realize that there is basically no mathematical questions. It's a mathematical question, but there's no mathematical procedure that you need to do when you're solving this problem. It's not asking you to solve it or anything like that. You could easily explain what your thoughts are and you'll be good with that. But since I am a math teacher, I'd like to go ahead and show you how can you solve it to answer the question that is asking you why or why not, okay? So we know that the bride invited 268 people. So I'm going to go ahead and wrote 268 people, right? To her wedding. 182 people said that they were going to go to the wedding. So I'm going to go ahead and I wrote that down here. How many people did not reply? How many did not say anything? In order for me to do that, I need to subtract. These are right here, the people that said something. I'm going to say people that said yes, right? Okay. The people that says yes. Oh, sorry. And the one at the top are the people that were invited. So when you subtract those numbers, you are going to get the number of the people that didn't say anything, that did not reply. So you're going to write here, did not reply. So the next step is that you're going to need to go ahead and subtract this. And always starting with the ones place, which is right here. Okay, 8 minus 2 equals what? 6. Good job. 6 minus 8. There's no way to do that. We need to regroup. So I'm going to take 10 out of here. This become a 1 and this become a 16. Now 16 minus 8 equals, good job, 8. And 1 minus 1 equals what? 0. So how many people did not reply? Correct. How many people did not reply? 86 people did not reply. Now, let's look at the question that you were asked on this problem. Is it reasonable, or does it make sense, to say that about 200 people did not reply? And the answer should be what? Correct. No, it is not reasonable. But why is not reasonable? Because when you subtract it, the number of invited people and the number of those who said yes, that they will be able to make it, you have 86 people left over that did not reply. Even if you round 86 to the nearest 100, right? Even you got around 86 to the nearest 100, would that be, you have 100, you have a chart right here. You have number 86 right here. You have the next number is, so I'm going to put here, this is going to be 100. Remember, there are different numbers, like lines in between. Okay, this is just an example. Okay. Okay, so, and then you have, I'm going to say 200 right here, right? Is this 86? Is this 86 closer to 100 or to 200? Correct, to 100, right? So even if you were to round these 86, I'm going to go ahead and round that for you so you guys can see. Even if we were to round that 86, right? We can round it to the nearest 10 because that's the highest place value I have here, right? And I always think of if it's the next, if this number to the right is 0 to 4, the 8 stays the same. But if it is 5 to 9, the 8 goes up, right? the 8 goes up. So in this case, that's a 6. So I know that I'm going to add 1 to the 8. And that will be what? 9. And then these 6, I'm going to write a 0 right here. So even if you were to round that to the highest place value, right, that will be 90. 90 is closer to 100 than 200. It's way closer. So is it possible to say that about 200 people did not reply? It's impossible. Correct. That's impossible because about 90, and that is when you're estimating, did not reply. Okay, so if they would have said here 100, then that will be okay. Oh, yeah, sure, we can say about 100 people. Yeah. But about 200 people, that's way too much. So what you need to do next is you need to write in on the side of your paper somewhere there your response and write an incomplete sentence so that you can show that you really understood. So an explanation I wrote was the following. It is not reasonable or unreasonable to say that about 200 people did not reply because only 86 did not reply. Even when you round to the highest place value, which is in this case to the tens, you have only about 100 people that did not answer. Okay, and that is your response. You can write your response any way you want. It's just making sure that you're explaining your thinking. Okay, perfect. Moving on to the next problem. This problem follows the same procedure as the problem before. And then it says the following. I'm going to be highlighting and marking the problem as we read it. Okay, then we can go ahead and talk about it. A television costs $868. Mr. Reyes has 672 saved up. It is reasonable. Is it reasonable, or does it make sense to say that Mr. Reyes needs about $200 to pay up? To pay for the television. Okay. Why or why not? So Mr. Reyes wants a TV, and he saved a total of $672. $672. The TV cost $868. In order for us to know if he needs about $200, we need to solve the problem first. We need to know how much more money does he need to get to 868. For this reason, we are going to go ahead and subtract again. 868 minus 672. You're going to get an answer right here. Okay? I am not going to answer this problem for you. I want you to do it on your own. Once you get that answer, I want you to round it. I'm going to write here what you need to do. Round the answer, right, of your subtraction, right? Or round the difference. This is the difference right here. I'm just going to put it, the answer of your subtraction, to make it easy for you to understand. Subtraction, right, to the nearest, or to the highest, or to the greatest place value, greatest place value. Okay, you're going to round it to the nearest, to the greatest place value. For example, in this problem right here, we have 86 left over, and the greatest place value, when you look at the place value chart, you have the ones, you have the tens, and you got the hundreds. Okay, if you're rounding to the greatest place value, and the number in the previous problem was 86, right? The greatest place value here is the number that is in the tens place, right here, okay? Because it only has 2 digits. If it would be like, for example, the number 672, the greatest place value is the hundreds, okay? So keep that into mind. Round the answer of your subtraction to the greatest place value. So that's what you're going to do with these problem, the answer that you write right here. And then you are going to answer the question. Is it reasonable? I'm going to go ahead and underline that question in blue. Is it reasonable to say that Mr. Reyes needs about $200 to pay for the television? Okay, so it's basically following the same procedure that we did in the problem before. Okay, once you have rounded the number, you're going to determine if the number is close to the 200 or if it's not close enough to the 200 for you to say that is not reasonable. Okay, after that, you're going to explain your thinking, saying why or why is not reasonable. Okay, that's what you're doing in that problem, guys. Okay, perfect. The third problem on page 10 says the following. Mrs. Rickett is counting her supply of pencils. She has 34 pencils in her sharpened bucket, right? So I wrote here pencils in the sharpened bucket, and we have 34. I'm going to go ahead and write that here. She also has 5 boxes of 11 pencils in each. So when you have 5 groups of a given number, what do you need to do there? Correct. Multiply. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes, and you have 11 in each of them. If you do not know how to multiply 5 times 11, you can add 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus another 11 plus another 11. So you just add all of those and you're going to know the total of pencils that she has in her storage, right? Now, you're going to have 2 numbers. You already have 34 and you're going to have another number that's going to come out of here, okay? This is the same thing as saying 5 times 11, or I'm going to write that or in a different color, or 5 groups of 11 in each, okay? So you're going to have 2 numbers. You're going to have now 34, and you're going to have the number that you can get out of 5 times 11, or when you use repeated addition and you add 11 5 times. Once you have the answer to 5 times 11, you're going to write it right here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that right here. You're going to write it in this box that I drew there. You can just put it on a paper. And after that, the next step for you is going to be, you're going to put it right here. After that, you are going to go ahead and add 34 plus whatever number you have in that blue box. Okay? All right. And after you have done that, after you have added those two numbers, then you're going to answer to the question that problem is giving you. And the question says, is it reasonable to say that Mrs. Ricketts has 50, how many? 50 pencils in all. In all, okay? So after you add 34 plus this number right here, you are going to tell me if the number that you get, is a number that you can go ahead and round and is equivalent or equals a number close to what? 50. Okay? So you must round that number, okay? And remember, rounding, like I have shown previously in this video, it's a skill that we have been learning since the beginning of the school year, and just going to model here for you really quick. Let's say I'm going to give you a number here that the answer there, I don't know, this is an estimate. I'm not even solving, I'm just giving you any number, okay? 75. This is the greatest place value, that's where I'm going to round. And I'm going to circle this one. Look at this number. If that number that I circle on my right side is from 0 to 4, that 7 is going to stay the same. Is it 5 to 9? That 7 is going to go up by 1. So this one is 5, right? So I'm going to add 1 to my 7. So my answer here is what? 8. And anything to my right becomes 0. That'd be 80, right? Let's suppose, not telling you this is the answer because this is not the answer, that you have an 80, right? Is 80 close to 50? Can you, is 75 or 75, you had a 75 and you rounded to an 80, right? Is that estimate close enough to 50? No, Mr. Hernandez, that's way too far. Even 75, you cannot round it to 50. Exactly, I cannot round it to 50. This number that I get right here must be a number that I can round. And when I round it, equals 50 or around 50, okay? A number that you can round and gives you to 50, okay? When you round it. All right. The last problem on this page is the following. As all the problems for today, these are two-step word problems. In this one, we're talking about Michael's dad. Michael's dad traveled 268 miles. Guess he's traveling across the country, right? 268 miles. Then he stopped for lunch. He traveled 274 more miles. Then he stopped for gas. He's definitely going to a different state, I think. Finally, he traveled 132 miles before reaching his destination. Finally, right? Is it reasonable to say that Michael traveled around 400 miles? Why or why not? In order for me to know if he traveled around 400 miles, I need to know how many miles he traveled in all. So I have 268. And I'm going to add 274. And I'm going to add 132. then that response that I'm going to get, that sum that I'm going to get out of there is what it's going to tell me. It's going to give me a number, okay? And that number right there, I need to what? I need to round it. I need to round that number. Round. Once I have rounded the number, I need to see if when I round it, it rounded up to what? It rounded to 4. If it rounded to 400, it must round to 400, right? In order for you to say that it's reasonable. Okay? On this problem right here, the same thing. This number right here that you're going to get must round to 50 pencils in all, to 50 pencils to say that Mrs. Rickett had about 50 pencils. Same thing right here. This number right here must round to 200 for you to say that Mr. Rickett needed $200 to pay for his television. Okay? And that is what you need to be doing for what you need to do for today. Today, like I said, is our last day for distance learning. Our last day of school for this year. Good job for all your hard work and dedication and for everything that you did this year. You guys were amazing. And I am so proud to say that I got to spend my year in your class, part of my year in the class. I love you. I miss you. And you know what? Soon, I know that I'm going to be able to see you guys and we are going to have lunch together, or I don't know. I know that we are going to have such a good time together whenever we reunite and see each other. And I know that in the meantime, I'm going to get to see you today in our Zoom meeting, because we have a meeting today, and I'll be there. The meeting is around noon at 12. All right, I love you all. I miss you, and you rock. You're the best. Do the best you can on these problems, and if you need help, reach out. We're just a phone call away. Bye-bye.